Hey guys, Arthur here with Stardust Automotive. In today's video, we're going to go through and we're going to discuss the 4R100 Solenoid Pack, which is, we all know, this bad boy right here, which always gives people issues from the solenoid connector end up leaking to hard shifts, and sometimes the vehicle won't shift at all. Most times it's because of the solenoid pack. I wasn't going to originally make a video on this, but after being quite irritated with TransGo and Sonnex and them saying, oh, well, we're keeping our house secrets in-house, which is a load of bull, I decided to tear one of these things down and show you guys how to actually rebuild them for much less than $300, $400, in some cases $500. It's not worth it. Honestly, you can rebuild these things for probably less than $100 and just a short period of time. So let's go through this whole thing really quick with a teardown. So if you want to get in here real quick. So this is your connector piece, which is actually goes through your main part of your solenoid pack valve vane. So it'll actually be this way. So this will go all the way through. So to be able to remove this main top of your piece, you have two Torx. Sorry about that. I don't know if you can see that or not. You have two Torx that have to be removed. You have one here and then one right in there. That'll be able to get this piece at least shaking and moving. The next one, you have to get in here for each one of these, and you have to desolder each one of those connectors to be able to get it off the tips of these. Once all these are removed, some guys will use a soldering iron and then use a pick and kind of pull them up. I like to use desolder wire, which will actually soak up all the solder, and then you'll be able to pry up the connector pieces. Once you do, you can actually use a small screwdriver, or what I like to do is I use a, wherever it went, a small little, well, of course now it's gonna, there we go. A small little pin piece like this you can use, you find them at Lowe's, whatever. Find the perfect circle, just take your finger and slightly press down on each one of these, and it'll actually break the whole piece loose. And then you can pull the whole solenoid pack and the tray completely separate from each other. Once they are separated, you're going to have your main connector piece. Okay, which direction? Okay, that direction. That's going to be all the way in through here. Okay, these are directional, so be mindful. All right, it's going to look just like this. You're going to take your fingers, you're going to pry in, and then just slightly push down. Then it's going to pull this entire piece completely out. Now you will notice I've already done it on this one, but there is a, there we go. It's a plastic shield that goes over top. Okay, you're going to, once you desolder all this and you get all that resin off, this will slide out with relatively easy ease. But once it's in there, you know, use a screwdriver or a pick or something like that and just be very gentle, but you'll kind of wiggle it up and that whole piece will slide right out. Clean it up real well with some brake clean, both inside and out. So what happens on these, when these start to leak, these terminal pieces, where they slide into the plastic, eventually get seepage, and that's where you get leakage from. Why nobody does this, who the hell knows? Get yourself some of this. It is silicone modified conformal coating. This is a waterproof coating, and it also has UV in it. You're going to take it, grab like a little brush or something like that. I got one that came with the kit, but you're going to dab it in there. Once this is all clean and free of any contaminants, which is why I like using brake clean, because it's got acetone in it. It etches really nice into plastic and any kind of metal, cleans it up real nice and doesn't leave a film behind. You're going to take this up and you're going to paint it all over the place. You're going to go up a little bit, that way it seals. Let it cure. Once it's done curing, it's waterproof. Now your connector will not leak. That'll solve number one. If you have issues with the solenoid pack, right? If you've got issues with it hard shifting, or you have an issue with it not changing gears because of one of the solenoids, and you check up through a scan tool and it's saying, you know, something dealing in the solenoid pack, on each one of these solenoids, okay, they are only held in by these soldering points. Again, take the soldering wire, remove the solder, do that with all of them, and this whole plastic piece comes off, and then you have access to your solenoids. On each one of the solenoids, they do have a serial number and a part number that you can cross-reference online, and you can get these things for $10, $15, sometimes $20, $25, depending on the manufacturer. They're very inexpensive to replace. These filters, if they do have stuff in them, take them, you brake clean them out, put them back in. They are reusable. As long as they're not broken or warped or have any kind of debris in them that's actually popped through, you can just clean them off, reuse them. So again, you can rebuild this whole thing for less than $100. So why people are paying $300, $400, $500 for this stuff that's readily available through online. You may not be able to find this stuff through Google. You may have to use DuckDuckGo or use Bing or a third party because Google likes to hide stuff, especially when manufacturers are paying them to be able to shift the information all the way down, because they don't want to know how easy and how cheap and inexpensive it is to fix these things the right way, even using Ford OEM parts. And believe it or not, Ford is also using them through other manufacturers that are readily available too, which most of the stuff's coming from China and Australia anyway. So once you've done that, you put everything back together, you use some flux, use some solder, resolder your points, put it all back together, same way. Easy peasy. So again, I'm probably the only one that's actually gone through this to show you guys what it looks like on the inside and actually how to tear them down. So I'd like to thank you, Sonnex. I would like to thank you, TransGo, for trying to not show professional courtesy as usual, to try to hoard everything and, you know, not expose what I consider a price gouging in rebuilding these things. I understand you all have to make money. I've been in the business for 26 years. I've been in business on my own for 16 years. I understand that. But when you're doing a 300% and 400% markup to the consumer, that's not right. And obviously, you know, when you're replacing a solenoid that may cost you $15, and then you're costing them, say, oh, well, you know, we're going to do the same thing, replace one solenoid, and then we're going to charge you $400 and $500. That's absolutely egregious, and it's not fair. It's not right to the consumer. And as a businessman myself, like, I still believe in the old school ways and keeping things moral and ethical. So guys, I hope this blesses you. I hope more people are going to try to repair these things on their own, so that it'll force these other companies to rethink what they're doing to the consumer, because it's not right. Remember guys, we are a 5-star rated company, and we've been that way since we've opened our doors. We have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. We also have a top rating with Consumer Protection, and we still hold a 5 rating through Google and through Facebook. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like it, please go ahead, share it with your friends. If you guys have questions, please ask. As always, thank you very much for paying attention to our videos. Thank you for the support of my company. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.